Blake Wheeler, $800,000 with the New York Rangers. Video is brought to you by Sports Interaction. Get in on the action with Sports Interaction 19+. Please play responsibly and check out sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. The Rangers make 2 veteran adds. First one, Blake Wheeler, $800,000 with $300K in potential bonuses. Jonathan Quick is the other one. We're going to start with Blake.
$825. We have that.
$825 for Jonathan Quick?
$825.
Okay, that's brand new information. I'm so glad we know. So for $1.625 million, you get 55-point Blake Wheeler, which is pretty great. And then Jonathan Quick, who we're not sure is an NHL goalie by most standards anymore. This might be a resume signing, but we'll start with Blake. Obviously, a good year last year, despite being stripped of the captaincy and not really getting along with the head coach and fighting after the last, with the last game versus Vegas in the first round, where Rick Bowness came out and said that they were lifeless, and they were lifeless, and Blake Wheeler was the only one who disagreed. There's been a lot of questions about Blake Wheeler as a leader. There's been a lot of questions about the Blake Wheeler time in Winnipeg, which had its successes. But he doesn't have to be a leader in New York, does he?
No, but there's a very interesting power dynamic going on there. Who's the captain of the New York Rangers?
Who's, Steven?
Jacob Trouba.
That's right.
Who used to be under quote unquote Blake Wheeler. So for all the problems that they had in Winnipeg, there's no way they make this signing without the blessing of the captain.
Yes.
Or maybe even endorsement of the captain. Like, listen, we've criticized Blake Wheeler on this podcast a bunch. That's the bargain of the day. You're not going to be able to beat that. 16 goals, 39 assists, 55 points in 72 games. No, you're not beating that. That's not an $825,000 player. That's a fantastic deal for the New York Rangers.
That's a player that New York, Toronto does this too with hometown guys, but New York uses its cachet, and they should. LA should do this too. Florida teams do this. It's like, hey, I know you want to make all that money, but you've made a lot of money. Why don't you come play on Broadway?
One thing I will criticize about the deal, the Rangers needed to get better offensively, and they didn't with this deal. They got worse.
Stop. Well, people are going to look at his stat line and be like, he had 55 points. What the hell are you talking about?
He had 55 points, which is good. They got worse defensively.
Right. I think they got a better defense than the Winnipeg Jets, though. And a much better goalie.
But if they had a perceived... We're grading on curves here. The Winnipeg Jets had aspirations of farting into the wind last year. The Rangers had aspirations of winning the Cup, which they obviously didn't do. They blew a 2-0 series lead in the first round. If they had a perceived weakness, it would be defense and maybe a little toughness. He has some snarl, so that's good. Absolutely dreadful, wretched back checker. So that's going to be something they have to manage.
Jesse, you got a big smile on over there.
Yeah, well, I think what Steve's saying is very funny. If it might be true, but it's also very funny.
Yeah.
On the Quick side of the deal, that's the one that perks up my ears, because I was watching this last season, and like the whole thing with LA and then going to Vegas, and he wants to keep playing and all that stuff. Jonathan Quick is chasing the most wins by an American-born goalie in NHL history. He's at 375 wins. Ryan Miller has the all-time record at 391. So Jonathan Quick is going to try and keep playing for the rest of his life until he can try and pass that record. We know it's something he cares about. He wants to have that record. He wants to probably reach 400 if he can, but at least 392. So Igor last season played, I think, 58 games. We can expect that number to come down a little. Maybe he's in the 50 range, the 53 that he was at the previous season, so that Jonathan Quick can get into some games here, try and compile some wins, maybe only have to play 2 more years and get that record.
Maybe this is ignorant, but if it's not working out with Quick, that's a relatively easy problem to fix. Teams have too many goalies. Teams waive goalies all the time. If they want to go to the Leafs model, they can pull anyone off the friggin' street and play them in final 4 games in an important stretch run where your starting goalie is hurt. God, I'm never going to forgive them. But so if Quick is very obviously not the answer by American Thanksgiving, they'll be fine.
That's why I love these two moves because the money is nothing.
Well-
It's literally nothing. $800,000 for both of these guys.
Ryan Reeves is going to make about
cares?
2 times what Blake Wheeler makes next.
Yeah, you get to add 2 veteran pieces for something that's not even going to have any effect on your cap.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great for the Rangers.
Makes
Rangers
me-
fans should be very happy.
It does make me wonder sort of what they're going to do with Tarasenko and Kane. Like, if they brought Wheeler in like this, do you not feel like, maybe there's more to that? You know what I mean? Maybe they are sticking around. Maybe they're trying to put a team of just terrible on defense forwards, like compile all the worst defensive forwards in the league, and then hope that your defense and goaltending.
They really got it. They got to figure that out.
Because Kane and Tarasenko are horrendous back checkers. So maybe they're used to it. Laviolette, I don't know. Is he going to be able to handle these guys?
They got to figure that out.
Anyway.
But one thing I think the Rangers probably do is scout the Jets pretty well. They got Paul Stastny from them, and he was great.
Yep.
Or no, not Paul Stastny. Who did they get? It was a third line center. I forget. Doesn't matter. And also Jacob Trouba.
There you go. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Some
Might have got one of the
unnamed
fucking
center. I
names
can't
wrong.
wait to find out who it was in the comments section.
Who are you thinking?
Andrew
about?
Kopp.
Andrew Kopp. What? That was a good pickup.
It was
Really
a
good pickup.
I wish I got it right the first time.